Since I started reviewing Daima, I've had people comment that despite that they are still enjoying these videos, that they, do miss the old school rants that I used to go on when I reviewed Dragon Ball Super. And, to those people, I would like to say, Merry Christmas. This week and last week on Dragon Ball Daima. Stupid shit happened. It fucking sucked. I am done pulling my punches, and I'm just gonna say straight up, fuck the recap. I'm sick and tired of seeing that recap. I love that recap episode 1, showing the history of the series from Goku's childhood to the defeat of Majin Buu. That was really cool, and I liked it a lot. And now I'm sick and tired of fucking seeing it every episode. Every episode it kept coming back, and I'm like, okay, go away. And then it kind of went away, and then it came back. Oh my god, I hate it. Either have no recap or just do a regular normal series recap. I don't care. I am tired of seeing this. And speaking of recaps, I guess I should explain what happened in these episodes. Well, first off, Goma goes and fetches the Gendarmerie Special Forces. They're a shitty Ginyu Force knockoff. Get to it. Our heroes find out that, Sir Warp or Master Warp or Warp Samalama Ding Dong, he has been shut down. And then Neva's don't worry, opens the gate to the first demon world. They go down. They fight some jobbers. Goma sees the evil eye attached to Hibis's belt and has Dagus go fetch it. They fight some jobbers, and the episode ends. I'm sorry, episodes. That was a recap of 2 episodes, because there's that little content in there. Okay, so, first off, the Great Value Ginyu Force. I hate these guys. Why are they here? Why are they being introduced in the last third of this story? This series is almost over, and you're going to introduce this jobber squad now, and you're going to just make them a Ginyu Force knockoff. Why? Why just do the Ginyu Force again, but shittier? They don't have the unique designs of the Ginyu Force. They don't have the unique personalities of the Ginyu Force. Obviously, I wouldn't want them to have the exact elements of the Ginyu Force, but I'm saying, the Ginyu Force had personality and characteristics and things that made them stand out from one another. They weren't just a Sentai parody. Here, it is just the Sentai parody. They have, other than the fact that they seem to just blow shit up, and like chocolate, they have no discernible personalities. They're not really characters. I don't know why the hell they were introduced, other than to just fill up time. I hate them. Oh my god, I hate them. They're clearly jobbers. They're not here to be an authentic threat. If they were a legitimate threat, they would have been sent out to go beat the Tamagami already. We already know that they are not on the same level as our heroes. So what is the point of having them? What is the point of introducing them? Absolute waste of time. Okay, fine. The convenience store bit where they run into Ku and Do and they buy them some chocolate and they're nice to the kids. Fine. Whatever. It's a cute scene. It goes on too damn long. But it's cute, I guess. But I don't they're not characters. I don't like them. And they're so irrelevant that they're introduced in episode 14 and aren't even there in episode 15. They do not play a role. They get name dropped once. I'm sure they're going to show up in episode 16. But dear God, the idea that they introduced them and gave them so much screen time, only to then just not reference them in the next episode. Okay, they reference them, but they not show them, have them not play a damn role. Why? But honestly, that is kind of a small problem. It's an annoying problem, but it is small. Where the real problems start coming in is just the dragged out, miserable pacing of these episodes. How nobody acts like a fucking person in them, and how our heroes take very minor threats and treat them as if they are incredibly deadly, and that, like, creating a false sense of tension that our heroes are in legitimate danger. Oh, and then the exposition dump from hell. So my major complaints start with them going to Sir Warp and finding out, well, shit, they turned him off. And that is kind of the, like, attitude they have towards it. Where last episode, it was played up with all this pomp and circumstance. Like, there was like this real melodrama into just Dagus flipping that switch to deactivate Warp. And in this episode, it's just like shit. They locked the door. And then Neva going, it's okay. I got the key to the back door. Why do this? Why have, like, this? Like, it seems like it exists, so, like, we can now explain, like, why the gates were put up in the first place, which was apparently, like, the first and third demon worlds were bullying the second demon world. So Neva put up the gates, and then had, like, the warps created, to kind of control people going in and out of the different demon worlds, which honestly just sounds like the third demon world is the ghetto. The first demon world is where the 1% live, and then the second demon world, that's like the suburbs. That's your gated community, and we gotta keep like these big business bureau types that are gonna, like, buy up all our land out and, like, try to, like, take over things. And we need to keep, the riffraff out. Like, and it really, like, it's kind of a fucked up way of describing the third demon world people, because, yeah, okay, fine. Like, they were, like, like, ruffians were coming in, like, oh, like, we gotta close the borders because, like, the criminals and the rapists are coming through. And we spent so much time in the third demon world. We've seen a bunch of really nice demons. Like, yeah, there's, like, a few thugs here and there. Are you going to tell me that everyone in the second demon world is a fucking saint? Whatever attempts at social commentary they were trying to make with this absolutely falls on its goddamn face. I do not like it. I think it's poorly executed. I think it's really bad social commentary, because it's basically just going, yeah, the people in the slums are all criminals. We got to keep them out of our nice neighborhood so they don't drop out the property value. So anyhow, Goku, looking down at the gate, goes, is there really a gate down there? I can't see. Which is really weird, because, like, the framing of the shot, like, you can see, like, where, like the angle from where Goku is looking down, and you can see the gate, but Goku can't see the gate. So then he, like, takes his Nyoibo and he drops it down there, and it electrocutes the shit out of him on contact, and he falls off the ship. And nobody but Pansy fucking reacts. It's like in the script, it said Pansy yells, oh no! And then Neva walks out to the edge of the ship and then opens the gates up. And nobody at any point in the storytelling process, like the storyboarding process or the scripting process, went, should anybody else in this scene react to this like a fucking person? Where Goku has been electrocuted, has been maybe fatally wounded, and is falling for 2.5 minutes. It is 2.5 minutes. I checked the time code. Falls. And then Neva just kind of shuffles his old ass out there, going peep-ho, pop-pop, peep-pop-pop-poo-poo, and then shoots like a thing up in the air and dissolves that gate, and then he shoots the thing out the bottom and dissolves that gate. And then Goku just ends up waking up. Like, nobody even tries to save him. At all. At all. The fuck? Why? Why write the scene like that? Why pace the scene like that? Why do any of that scene like that? Cause like I'm not thinking of like the wondrous like magical spell that Neva is doing to like undo this boundary between the demon worlds that have been there for like hundreds, thousands, however many fucking years. Like, I'm not thinking about that. I'm thinking, Jesus fucking Christ, Goku is blacked the fuck out, he's falling to his death, and nobody's giving a shit. That's all I'm thinking about. And then with the nobody acts like a fucking person problem of this episode, our heroes are going down into the first demon world, and then there's just some throw out like line of dialogue about how, oh yeah, like the first demon world, it's 60 degrees Celsius. And I'm like, okay, I'm an American. I don't know what the fuck a Celsius is. So I Google it. It's 140 fucking degrees. I'm a former Floridian. And I'm gonna tell you, like, 140 degrees is fucking killing you weather. Like you go out there, like, and do any strenuous, and you will sweat to death. And they're just like, oh, okay. And I can deal with the fact that, like, our super powerful characters are fine with this. They can handle it. They're built different. Bulma ain't. Bulma's not built different. I don't even know if Pansy's built different. But Bulma sure as shit isn't. Why have this line of dialogue that, like, the first demon world is so incredibly fucking hot when it's never brought up? It's like nobody even, like, it's not even like a thing to like make our heroes weaker. Like, oh man, we're not used to fighting in these kind of temperatures and it's slowing us down kind of thing. Like, no, like it's just a thing that is mentioned as they are going down into the first demon world, and then that's it. It's dropped. I think like Pansy goes, oh shit, that's fucking hot, in reaction to learning of like the temperature, and that is it. Why? Why? Well, why? Why is it written like this? Why have a character say a thing and then have it mean absolutely nothing in the show? It was a completely pointless factoid that, like, did nothing. It is a Wikipedia entry thing. It is a line of, like, in a Dragon Ball, like, data book. Not something that needs to be mentioned in this fucking show. So that happens, and that's the end of that first episode. Because literally, that first episode is just, we meet the Ginyu Force as ordered off of Timu, and our heroes go through the portal. That is the entirety of that episode. They get to the first demon world, and I'm like, okay, whatever. Doesn't matter that this episode sucked fucks. Next episode, something has to happen. Something. Even if it's just ruffle stomping the Jobber Squad, something has to happen. Oh boy, I expected nothing and I was still disappointed. Shit. So first off, like I said, the gendarmerie force do not show up in this episode. Instead, it is our heroes dealing with the regular gendarmerie army, the guys that they have been ruffle stomping this entire show. And they are treated as an actual threat to our heroes in their little planes with their little blaster sticks. What? Why? Like, I was so ready for this episode because I'm like, look, we're getting the storming the castle scene, baby. I love me a good storming the castle scene where like our heroes are making like the stretch to like get into like the enemy fortress, and they're just fucking up like a whole line of dudes to get from A to B. Like it's just like a Dynasty Warrior game. Just fuck up a bunch of dudes, and it's gonna be super cool and a lot of fun. And like even if it's literally just getting them from point A to B, at least there's gonna be some really dope fun act. No, nothing like that. No, it's our heroes going, oh, all these lasers. Oh no. Oh my god, if they touch us, they'll zap the shit out of us, and they actually hurt us. Oh no. And I'm like, look, I have mentioned that I do not mind, like I don't care about power scaling. If you have to fudge characters' powers for the sake of dramatic storytelling, if you're telling a better story, that's fine. This isn't a better story. This is artificial tension as they are struggling to like beat up a bunch of no-name losers. Why? There was no thought in my mind that they were going to hit this army and then it was going to suddenly be a threat to them. But apparently it is. And I have no clue why. I went into this hoping for, like, for those familiar with the Path to Power, Goku, like, going in, like, his final attack on the Red Ribbon Army, where he is just, like, spinning around the Nyoibo and smashing the ground and just cutting his way through just countless soldiers. And it's really kinetic and it's fun and the camera work is really dynamic. And maybe it wouldn't be on that same level, but it would be in that neighborhood of just watching our heroes just blow through a bunch of losers. And instead, the losers just wreck our heroes. And I'm like, what? This isn't the kind of show for that. And then in the middle of all of this, as I mentioned, Goma recognizes the evil eye and tells Dagus to go fetch it for him. The show then stops to have the narrator read off the Wikipedia entry for the Tertian Oculus. I didn't need this. I didn't want this. This is pointless lore. This is shit I did not need. Because, like, what did I learn? It is an ancient thingy that make people powerful. A thing that I already knew via the context that it was originally mentioned in. I did not need to know how it was lost. All I need to know is it is ancient powerful artifact that has been lost to time. Cool. That is the explanation. Having the narrator then tell me how it was used by all the Supreme Demon Lords, and then Abra had it, and then Abra lost it because Dabra stole it, and then he was gonna have it hidden in the third demon world, and then the guy who was hiding it got bludgeoned to death by like an ogre thingy, and then it was just lost in the third demon world until Hybus found it and thought it was cool and put it in his belt. Like, literally, I didn't need all of that. I already knew ancient powerful thingy, lost to time. Hybus found it while walking through the mountains one day. Okay, I did not need to see the explanation. This is Dragon Ball Daima's exposition problem elevated to new heights that I couldn't have foreseen it ever fucking reaching. Or new depths. I don't know. It sucked regardless. And then going from things that absolutely sucked to things that might have been sorta based, I think. Hybus gets confronted by sexy girl demon in a weird hat. And she's just like, hey, I love your belt. If you give it to me, I'll give you a kiss. And he's just like, nah, bitch, I don't want that. I do want your hat, though. And she's just like, here? And then he's just like, yeah, I got a weird hat. And then he gives her the belt. And she's just like, kind of insulted by that. And the way I originally read this scene was, oh my god, Dagus disguised himself as a woman. I was like, oh my god, gender fluid icon Dagus. Yes, this is awesome. But then I realized in the episode, there's no real confirmation. It is Dagus is told to go get the Tertianoculus. Then we see Blue Girl ask for the belt and get the belt. And then the next time we see Goma, Dagus is kind of like coming back into the scene. He doesn't mention the belt. He doesn't say like, I have secured the belt. I just got the belt. Here's the belt. I got the eye. None of that's mentioned. And I'm just like, okay, so who was that girl? Was that actually Dagus? Was this supposed to be like the payoff to like Glind don't have like traditional genders? Like they kind of pick a gender? Or, because if so, oh my god, this show actually paying off dialogue. Holy shit. Like, I really just thought this was just a random fucking lore dump for the sake of it. But by the end of the episode, I wasn't sure anymore. And I've even posted this online, and yeah, like, people don't have a clear answer. There are people who are like, yeah, that's how I read it, but also, yeah, I'm not sure. And Dragon Ball Daima, you are a show for fucking children. If your ability to convey information is so vague that it confuses grown adults, you are being bad at conveyance. Oh my god. The language of cinema would tell us that this is Dagus in disguise, but there's no indication that that's actually the fact. Hell, one can make the argument that there's no indication that she is connected to Dagus at all. That this could just be a random girl who just picked up the belt. I mean, obviously, it's not. The show is not that incompetent. But the structure and how it lays out this information is so unclear that I don't have an actual answer to this very simple question. Like, is this why the show just constantly just has characters vomit out exposition, like just random lore dumps? Because the writers just literally don't know how to get information across without... Like, in next episode, am I going to have Dagus explain how he used his Glind magic to turn himself into a woman and then get the belt and then do the thing? Or am I going to get a scene of, like, this girl from, like, the third demon world? And here's another thing. If it actually is Dagus, there's no visual indicators that would connect it to, like, Dagus for me. Usually something like that, if you want to convey that... It would be like, okay, maybe have the skin color be the same. Dagus is kind of this light pinkish color. She's a light blue color. Okay. The eye shape. It's not the eye shape. Their eyes are shaped differently. Everything about them is completely different. So, like, it really annoys me that something this simple, this easy to not fuck up, like, this is the kind of thing that you would have a scene where you show him getting the belt from the girl. Maybe they'll do that next episode. It should have been this episode, but maybe they'll do it next episode. I don't know. All I know is that this series is really bad at conveyance. It doesn't know how to plot out a scene. It doesn't know how to juxtapose scenes for information to come across without just spewing it directly at the audience. It is just so incompetently written, and I have a lot of like slack in my heart for the creative process. Like, honestly, I really do feel that I was too harsh on Super, because Super is a series that was going off of these very minimalist Toriyama notes, and they had their feet to the fire the entire way into that production, just laying the tracks down as the train is coming. This series has had an amazing production schedule. That is one of the things that we knew about this series going in, and the animation and the direction really showed that. But then the storytelling, everything on the scripting process, feels like it was the first draft. Like, they just wrote up the episode and went, here you go, animators, you figure out how to make that 22 minutes, bye-bye. So back to our heroes. They're struggling to fight the Jobber Squad. Not like the actual, like, 5-man team Jobber Squad, but like the sub-jobbers. They're just getting their, like, shit, not necessarily wrecked, but it's just like, oh no, they're in legitimate danger. And then like a tank comes out and that kind of wrecks their shit. And it is treated as just like, oh my god, this is it. They're doomed. And then like grenades like fall on the tank and oh, it's the third Demon World King. They're here to save our heroes. And they get more done than like our super powered like main characters. Like from everything we know, these guys should be nowhere near on the level of Goku and co. But, like, they show up and suddenly they have evened the odds. Like, the scales have been tipped. And, like, Dragon Ball is not the kind of series that you can, like, really do, like, the cavalries come in to save us. Unless the cavalry is Goku or someone else of that ilk. Not just the random, like, low-tier characters. Like, if you wanted to structure this in a way that made a lot of sense and built up the most drama, you would have, before Warp was shut down, the third Demon World King brought his forces into the first Demon World to assist Goku. Then Warp gets shut off, and they're trapped in the first Demon World, and our heroes are rushing to get to the first Demon World before the King's forces get wiped out. And then, like, our heroes come into the fray, and they're the cavalry. Like, have the King's forces, like, completely unprepared because they thought they were gonna have Goku there to help them, but Goku is late because the warp gate was shut down, and then they had to try and like figure out a way to like get the other gate and not have Neva just fucking open it up for them, but figure out a way to like break their way through the gates that way they could rush down and like save the king, not the other way around. Like, it took me seconds to come up with that while I was recording this. Like, just, oh, I wonder what I would do differently to make this make more sense. And that was the first thing my brain went to. And it was obvious. And, like, once again, like, I try to have a lot of slack for people in the creative field. You have an episode count to fill. You have, like, corporate mandates to deal with. But Jesus fucking Christ, this show is so incompetently put together. There is no reason why this had to be the way it was. Like, having our big, strong, planet-shaking heroes getting taken out by, like, generic military grunts. Completely, like, blank slate, unnamed characters. And they are being treated as a legitimate threat. Like, this should have been like in Resurrection F, and oh my god, I'm about to use Resurrection F as a positive example of something. Holy shit. That's how you know things are bad. You remember in Resurrection F, where like the Frieza Force comes up, and like everybody is just taking them all out. It's all of like our heroes having like cool little fight scenes, and they're just fucking them all up. That's what this should have been. Except it should have been even easier, because these guys aren't even Frieza soldiers. They're like generic soldiers. This is like if Goku had rolled up on the Red Ribbon Army and they like legitimately started kicking his ass. Like everybody was like General Blue tier of like yeah, Goku can beat them, but, oh man, they're really getting their licks in, and they're really slowing them down. Oh my god. These episodes are so bad. They're so bad. I cannot stand them. They pissed me off. Like, the first thing I did was text Mr. Fusion. I'm like, I fucking hated that episode. Like, that's how pissed I was. My only hope now is that the series is about to throw me a curveball, because though I complained about the series' ability to convey like information visually, Dagus did have some kind of shadiness to him in this episode, and that makes me wonder if he is intentionally hiding the fact that he has the Tertian Oculus and he's going to be the big bad. And then the finale of the show is going to be like like, kind of like how Black double crossed Red. Oh my god, are they really gonna do that? Is that going to be? Are we going to rip off the Red Ribbon? That just hit me down. I'm like, oh my god, it's just the Red Ribbon Army arc, isn't it? They're gonna rip that off, where he's gonna like betray his short little commanding officer, and then he's gonna be the all powerful one that our heroes are gonna now have to fight against, and probably team up with Ku and Do. Like, oh my god, is that the direction that this story is headed? Like, first I was thinking, okay, that would at least be like a twist. It wouldn't be a very good twist because it's not like, for a twist to be good, you have to actually set up things to like subvert the expectations of. And right now there's no setup. We have Arine's kind of hanging out with like her two bumbling Majin, and you have Goma who's pissing his pants and he has like his little gendarmerie force. And then you have Dagus, who, like, if he's going to be like the traitor guy, like that would actually, be like a twist. But at this point, we don't really have like an interesting antagonist to even go with. We have two Majin who are not on the level of our heroes, and we have the gendarmerie force, which the gendarmerie force. But yeah, so maybe that is the direction. We're just gonna rip off the Red Ribbon Army arc ending, and Dagus is gonna be the Commander Black of this, and he's going to be the big bad of the arc, and they're gonna have to fight him after he uses the Tertian Oculus. Maybe, I don't know. Once again, I still have no fucking clue. Like, there's Chekhov's gun, and then there's like Chekhov's artillery. Like, this series, like, you have to fire some of these at some point, because Arines isn't getting involved. Like, hell, Goma, speaking of nobody acting like people, why is Goma not arrested Arines yet? He knows that she has a Majin, two Majin, and that she has one of the Dragon Balls. Arrest this bitch! Or at least interrogate her. Something. Oh, dear God, I need these next episodes. I need the finale to just come in, just boom, save this fucking show. Because right now, it is pitiful. I have stopped enjoying myself. I am not having a good time. And I was having a great time for a while. And that sucks, that I just have no enjoyment out of this. Till next time, Xeon out.